Hi there, it's Moira McDonald. I've got a wee tag idea for you today. I don't know if this has been done before, I can't recall having seen it myself, but it's two tags in one effectively. I just used a length of paper, a length of card, scored it and cut a smaller tag from the top end of it. So I'll run you through how I worked it and you can, hopefully it'll make more sense than the way I'm trying to describe it. I've cut myself a piece of card that's tea stained. It is 3 inches that way by roughly 8 1/4. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scoreboard to score it at. I want to have a tag of 4 1/2 inches at the back, and then I'm going to cut this to be a smaller tag at the front. Now my paper going that way was 3 inches, and obviously I want to try and get this right in the middle, so if I score it at 1/2 inch down to where the score line across it was, and at 2 1/2 inches, that gives me my size. I'm hoping you can see that, those score lines there. Right, that's us done with the scoreboard, we can put that away. The next thing to do is cut the size of your tag. So we're cutting up as close as possible to where you've actually scored your line. Sorry, I'm not talking at the same time, because see, as soon as I start to talk I can't do anything else. If I do, I'll make a mess, and I learned that the hard way. I had originally planned, when I was doing this the first time round, to use my paper cutter to do this, but quite frankly my paper cutter is not the best, and as such I thought I'll just make an absolute mess of this if I try this. Right, so that's my basic shape. Obviously what I want to do is get my tag shape, so I'll introduce my trusty tag that I use to get my edges, and I'll tackle it first of all at the back one to cut off my little corners. Then I need to do it with the top one to turn that into a tag shape, and obviously you've got to be that wee bit more careful here, because when you cut up you're then going to cut along that line again to take away that, and the other side. I'm making this look a lot more complex than it is. It's the problem of being right-handed and trying to cut it. I should maybe have done it for the underside. In fact, that would have made more sense, wouldn't it? But you know what I'm like, I'm not the brightest sometimes. I don't always think these things out before I tackle them. That's ours, give or take, and I've got our 2 tab shapes. So I can put away that and my scissors. And the next thing we need to do is, now I've done mine by stamping. Obviously if you didn't want to stamp them you could decorate them in any other fashion you like, using maybe washi tapes or some embellished paper or whatever, but I thought I would use some of these Tim Holtz ticket stamps to just decorate them a bit. Kind of hoping this works out okay, but this is going to be something of a lottery. We'll see how it goes. Right, now I was going to use a wee long stamp pad, acrylic board, but it's not going to be big enough for that stamp, so I shall use that first. In terms of ink, today I'm using VersaFine Clear Acorn, which is a pigment ink, and it's also what's the word? Archival. There, I've got ink in my finger. It's archival, so in theory it shouldn't fade at any point in time. I'll just get a baby wipe for wiping my finger. Right, so I've got my first stamp, and we'll partially stamp it there. Now, I mean, I must admit, this is one thing that I've never really noticed folk that do junk journals when they're doing stamping. They tend not to do kind of layered stamping, which surprises me a wee bit. And as such, you might not know how to layer stamps so that it looks as if you've got something behind something else. I'm going to use this. Now, this is frog tape, and it's the low tack frog tape. If you're worried about it being too sticky, you can stick it to your t-shirt or whatever, or in my case, my pyjamas, because crafting in the pyjamas at 2 o'clock in the afternoon is always the way forward. Right, going to use this wee stamp. And I can now stamp on top of the washi, and you'll see that when I go to do the next stamp. I'm going to put a piece of tape over that. Now, I'll be doubling up in these stamps, if you know what I mean. I'm going to use them to stamp more than once. Now, I'll carefully remove the washi, and you'll see it looks as if, help, can I get that? Those two tickets are lying behind that first one. Can you see that? Right. I mean, you can get fancy tape to do this. I can't remember what it's called. I've got some of it in the cupboard. I think Inkadoo did it. I don't know if it's just called masking thing. I'll dig it out before this video is done and let you see what it's called. Try and make sure you keep your table cleaner. Before you know it, the back of your tag's absolutely covered in ink. Believe you me. Guess how I know that? Right, still to do, I've got a wee tiny bit down the bottom here to cover in. I'll need to get more frog tape. I think I'm running kind of low. Right, quite impressed with that so far. Trying to keep my table clean so that the back of my tag doesn't end up all inky dinky. Right, I shall put a bit of tape here. Now the low tack stuff's the best in terms of ensuring that things don't stick all over the shop, because it really doesn't when you're using these tapes. I tried the original one, the original frog tape. Frog tape's just the same tape that they actually use for decorating. You know, if you were going to paint round your windows and you were looking for something to stop the paint from going on the windows. Right, that'll do us there. But it's much cheaper. Let's face it, when it comes to crafting, there are companies who take advantage of us poor women who can't afford to spend more than £10,000 on Warcraft. Don't think I've cleaned that. Right, feeling quite good about this. Things are going well. Actually, there are plenty of other stamps. Wait a minute and we'll get a different one. You should also, when you go to stamp, take your ink pad to your stamp. The theory being that you don't cover things too much. Now wait a minute, hold on, I need to watch what I'm doing here. I want to get my money's worth out of this one. Just checking that. This is just that wee bit too big. In fact, I might be better tackling that with scissors. I might make a better job of it. This is why my crafting takes me so long. I'm so kind of pernickety when it comes to trying to do things. Everything's got to be as accurate as possible. Here's my wee wet wipe. Right, I think. All I'm really worried about now is trying to get that corner, so bit of tape up here. I've actually made that just a wee bit too short. And I'll use this. I don't think I've used this one yet. Right, that'll do us for cleaning that. And pick off that last bit of tape. You can use washi tape as well, by the way, as long as you've maybe stuck it to your t-shirt or something first so that it's quite low tack. Right, so there's our first one, which just looks like a series of tickets lying on top of one another. Now what we want to do is we've got to stamp on this. Now I'm going to move my bus ticket ones out of the way. Hold on, that's annoying me. I've obviously put something away dirty. Can you imagine it, me putting away a stamp dirty? Yes I can actually, because it happens. I keep my stamps in, this isn't going to fit, put them back in their own positions. I keep my stamps in one of these kind of Stampin' Up type folders. Absolutely love these CD cases for keeping stamps in. Right, now the stamp I'm going to use for the next bit is a Kaisercraft stamp. I'm going to put away all my stamping acrylic pads and my tape. I shouldn't need my tape. And what I want to do is I want to stamp on this, but I don't want to obviously overlap onto that. Now what I plan on doing is using a stamp positioner tool. It doesn't matter what one you use, obviously, you can use the Misty or whatever. I am using this, what is it called? It's the Stamp Perfect by Hampton Arts. And I think I've only got this one because at the time it was the cheapest that I could find. Isn't it? That's, I mean, I don't know about the rest of you, but that's basically how I determine what I'm using. It always boils down to money. Right, this is a kind of side stamp. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to position it there. Now I'm using my wee coin things that I've covered over with washi. That's just to help me separate them if they ever get stuck together. It's not foolproof, so it's not a case of, oh here, do that. But I've found it personally the most effective way to protect it. I will stamp up my stamp and stamp away, and hopefully get a reasonable quality finish here. That looks okay to me. So we'll put the lid back on the stamp pad so that I don't make a mess with anything there. We shall take my little baby wipe and give the stamp a wipe. That'll do for me. Peel off my stamp. Take my tag out of my stamp positioner. Put my stamp away back in its... These ones are all, I think they're all Kaisercraft stamps in that box. Right, and that's us, so that's the double stamp. Now I also need my trusty hole puncher. Try and get it as close as you can to where the middle should be. And this has definitely seen better days, this wee thing. It doesn't spring open the way it used to. There we go. Sorry, everything's falling all over my desk because my desk, as always, is covered and stuff. Right, last thing to do is your friend and mine. Around the edges. It must have been a massive cloud just going in front of the sun here because it's got really dull. That'll do for us, I think. And as always, add your wee, what do you call them, ring strengtheners. I mean, in this particular instance, I'm not going to bother at this stage putting any kind of string or anything on it because I don't need to. You know how to put string on a tag. Obviously, if you put string on it and you go to use it for journaling, you would need to loosen the tag to get in to be able to write on the top one. But that's it. It's a kind of double tag, I suppose, a double foldy tag, and you can journal either side of those. And that's it. So, thanks very much for watching. If you want to ask any questions, or if you feel you can offer any other advice on any alternative ways I could have done anything there, by all means give me a shout and I shall be only too grateful to have my customary dialogue with you. Thanks very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it's something that you can maybe make use of when it comes to doing your stamping and making tags for your journal. Thanks very much. Bye bye. See you later.